In the heart of the 14th century, a celestial tapestry of stars wove itself across the night sky, casting its ethereal glow upon a world teetering on the precipice of a profound transformation. The year 1347 came cloaked in the whispers of ancient prophecies and the glint of distant stars, each shining orb a silent witness to the unfolding drama below. It was a time when the earth seemed to breathe in rhythm with the heavens, and the dance of the celestial bodies above mirrored the tumult and despair that took root on the terrestrial plane. Beneath this canopy of cosmic wonder, the world was a mosaic of kingdoms and fiefdoms, each one a microcosm of ambition, power, and the enduring struggle for survival. Yet, in the quiet corners of this medieval landscape, there were those who gazed upwards, their eyes tracing the paths of planets and stars, seeking solace or warning in their patterns. Astrologers, the seers of the sky, held sway over the imaginations of rulers and peasants alike, their interpretations a bridge between the known and the mystical. As the year began its slow, inexorable journey, the air was thick with a disquiet that seemed to seep from the very earth itself. The astrologers, with their fingers tracing the charts of the heavens, saw in the alignment of planets and the shifting constellations omens of great upheaval. Mars, the red planet, blazed fiercely, a harbinger of war and strife, while Saturn, the great malefic, lingered ominously in the house of death. These celestial bodies, in their celestial ballet, foretold a year of calamity, a crucible in which the mettle of humanity would be tested. From the bustling marketplaces of Florence to the echoing halls of Paris, from the wind-swept shores of England to the sun-drenched fields of Castile, the whispers spread like wildfire. In the courts of kings and the hearths of humble cottages, the people listened, their hearts heavy with a foreboding they could not fully comprehend. The astrologers spoke of an age of darkness, of a plague that would sweep across the land like a shadow, and of battles that would rend the very fabric of society. Amidst this tapestry of fear and hope, life continued in its ceaseless cycle. The rhythms of the seasons, the sowing and the harvest, the births and the deaths, all played out against the backdrop of an uncertain future. The earth, with its fields and forests, its rivers and mountains, remained a constant, a silent witness to the human drama unfolding upon its surface. Yet beneath its surface, unseen, the seeds of a great tragedy were taking root. In the bustling ports of the Mediterranean, ships laden with goods and dreams plied their trade routes, their sails billowing in the salty breeze. These vessels, the lifeblood of commerce and communication, also carried a more insidious cargo. On their decks and in their holds, hidden among the bales of wool and barrels of wine, the dreaded plague made its silent journey. It was said that the plague rode on the backs of the rats that scurried in the shadows, their tiny bodies bearing the seeds of destruction. As the spring of 1347 unfolded, the first signs of the coming storm began to emerge. In the bustling port of Messina, on the island of Sicily, the plague made its grim debut. The tales of the afflicted spread swiftly, carried on the lips of merchants and travelers, painting a picture of suffering and despair. The disease, with its fevered grip and the dark swellings it left in its wake, seemed to defy explanation. It was as though the very air had turned against its inhabitants, the breath of life transformed into a miasma of death. The astrologers, with their charts and ephemerides, watched as the stars traced their inexorable paths across the heavens. They saw in these celestial movements the confirmation of their darkest predictions. The conjunctions and oppositions, the retrograde motions and eclipses, all spoke of a world in turmoil, of a balance disrupted, and a harmony broken. Yet, in the face of such overwhelming evidence, there was little that could be done. The stars, in their silent majesty, offered no reprieve, no remedy for the suffering that was to come. As the plague spread its tendrils across the continent, leaving no village or city untouched, the social fabric began to unravel. The bonds of community, once a source of strength and support, were strained to the breaking point. Fear bred suspicion, and suspicion bred isolation. In the shadow of death, even the closest of kin turned away from one another, seeking solace in solitude or in the empty promises of charlatans and quacks. Yet, amidst this sea of despair, there were islands of resilience and hope. In the monasteries and convents scattered across the land, the faithful gathered in prayer, their voices rising in supplication to the heavens. The great cathedrals, with their soaring spires and vaulted naves, became sanctuaries for the soul, places where the divine and the earthly met in solemn communion. Here, beneath the stained glass windows that bathed the interiors in a kaleidoscope of colors, the faithful sought comfort in the presence of the divine, in the promise of a world beyond this vale of tears. The year 1347, with its trials and tribulations, was a crucible in which the mettle of humanity was tested. It was a time when the boundaries between the physical and the metaphysical blurred, when the dance of the heavens held sway over the hearts and minds of mortals. The astrologers, with their charts and their calculations, served as guides through this dark night of the soul, offering glimpses of light in the form of celestial guidance. As the year drew to a close, the world stood irrevocably changed. The plague, with its relentless march, had reshaped the landscape of human existence, leaving behind a legacy of loss and resilience. The astrologers, with their eyes fixed on the heavens, continued to seek understanding in the stars, to decipher the mysteries of fate and free will. And so the year 1347 passed into history, a chapter in the grand tapestry of time, its lessons etched in the hearts and minds of those who had lived through it. The stars, in their eternal dance, continued to shine down upon the earth, their light a reminder of the enduring connection between the heavens and the earth, between the mortal and the divine. Beneath the vast celestial canvas, the world turned with a quiet inevitability, as if guided by an unseen hand that orchestrated the symphony of the cosmos. The stars, eternal sentinels of the night, twinkled with an ageless wisdom, their patterns and alignments whispering secrets to those who dared to listen. The villages and towns, nestled in the folds of the earth, bore silent witness to the relentless passage of time. The people, like leaves in the wind, were swept along by the currents of destiny, their lives intertwined with the cosmic forces that governed the universe. In the quiet of the evening, when the sun dipped below the horizon and the shadows stretched long, the world seemed to hold its breath, as if waiting for a revelation. The astrologers in their secluded chambers pored over their charts with a fervor born of both desperation and hope. Their fingers traced the intricate patterns of the heavens, seeking meaning in the celestial dance. Each planet, each star, held a story, a fragment of the greater narrative that wove together the fabric of existence. The comet, with its fiery tail cutting through the night sky, was a harbinger of change, a celestial messenger that spoke to the hearts of those who gazed upon it. To the astrologers, it was both a challenge and a gift, an opportunity to delve deeper into the mysteries of the universe. They gathered in hushed circles, sharing insights and predictions, their voices a soft murmur against the backdrop of the night. In the quiet corners of dimly lit rooms, the air thick with the scent of burning incense, they cast their horoscopes, their eyes flickering between parchment and sky. The planets moved in their orbits, their influence felt in the rise and fall of fortunes, in the cycles of birth and death that mark the rhythm of life. Jupiter, with its benevolent presence, promised growth and expansion, while Saturn, the stern taskmaster, demanded discipline and patience. The people, weary from the trials of the year, turned to the stars with a renewed sense of wonder and awe. They sought comfort in the knowledge that their lives were part of a greater design, that their struggles were not in vain. The stars, with their cold, distant light, offered a sense of permanence in a world that seemed ever-changing, a reminder that even in the darkest of times, there was a path forward. In the heart of the villages, where cobblestone streets echoed with the footfalls of those who had come before, stories were shared around the warmth of the hearth. Old tales of gods and heroes, of love and loss, mingled with the fresh wounds of the present, creating a tapestry of memory that bound together the past and the future. The children, eyes wide with wonder, listened with rapt attention, their imaginations painting vivid pictures of worlds unseen. They heard of the great wheel of fortune, ever turning, lifting some to great heights while casting others down. They learned of the cycles of the moon, of the tides and the harvests, of the ways in which the universe spoke in subtle yet profound ways. As the nights grew longer and the chill of winter settled over the land, the people found solace in the rhythm of the seasons, in the knowledge that the earth too followed a celestial path. The stars, constant and unyielding, were a beacon of hope, a reminder that life, like the heavens, was a cycle of renewal and rebirth. The astrologers, with their feet planted firmly on the earth and their eyes lifted to the sky, continued their quest for understanding. They knew that the answers they sought were not always clear, that the language of the stars was as complex as the human heart. Yet, in their pursuit, they found a sense of purpose, a connection to something greater than themselves. The year 1348 arrived, ushering in a new chapter. Yet the echoes of 1347 lingered, a testament to the resilience of the human spirit. The people, though scarred by the trials they had endured, carried forward the lessons they had learned. They knew that the stars, though distant, were not indifferent, that they had a role to play in the grand cosmic dance. And so, beneath the eternal sky, life continued its inexorable march. The fields, once barren, began to bloom anew, a vibrant tapestry of color that spoke to the promise of tomorrow. The rivers, swollen with the rains of spring, sang a song of renewal, their waters a mirror to the heavens above. In the stillness of the night, when the world lay wrapped in a blanket of stars, the people dreamed. They dreamed of a world where the harmony of the spheres was reflected in the harmony of their lives, where the dance of the heavens inspired a dance of the heart. They dreamed of a future shaped by the lessons of the past, where the wisdom of the stars could guide them through the labyrinth of existence. The astrologers, ever watchful, continued to chart the celestial course, their eyes ever on the horizon. They knew that the journey was far from over, that the universe held untold mysteries yet to be discovered. But in their hearts, they held a quiet certainty, a belief that the stars would light the way, that their light, though distant, was a beacon of hope for all who dared to seek it. Thus, the story of 1347 became a part of the larger narrative of time, a chapter in the endless book of history. The stars, in their silent vigil, bore witness to the unfolding of human destiny, their light a reminder of the enduring connection between the heavens and the earth, between the mortal and the divine. And in that light, the world found its place, a small yet vital part of the grand cosmic tapestry, woven together by the threads of fate and free will. As the year 1347 unfurled its turbulent tapestry, the world below mirrored the tumult of the heavens above. The air was heavy with the scent of change, as if the very earth sighed beneath the weight of its trials. In the quiet corners of the world, where the whispers of the stars could still be heard amidst the cacophony of human experience, there lingered a profound sense of anticipation. The astrologers, those ancient interpreters of celestial rhythm, found themselves at the heart of this unfolding drama, their charts and calculations revealing patterns that spoke of both peril and promise. In the small, candlelit chambers where these sages worked, the flickering flames cast dancing shadows upon the parchment spread before them. The air was thick with incense, a fragrant offering to the muses of inspiration. Here, the lines and curves of the zodiac became a language of their own, a script that told of the universe's whispers, echoing through the ages. The astrologers knew that the alignment of the stars held a story, that the dance of planets across the sky was no mere coincidence, but a dialogue between the infinite and the intimate. In this year, the stars seemed to conspire in a rare and ominous configuration. Saturn, the great teacher, known for its lessons of discipline and hardship, cast its shadow over the world with a gravity that was palpable. Mars, the harbinger of conflict, burned brightly in the heavens, fueling the fires of war and discord. And yet, amidst these celestial giants, there was Venus, the morning star, its gentle glow a reminder of love and beauty, a counterpoint to the darker forces at play. The astrologers pondered these signs, their minds like the surface of a tranquil lake, reflecting the heavens above. They knew that the movements of these celestial bodies were not isolated events, but part of a greater cosmic choreography, a dance of energies that influenced the world below. In their hearts, they carried the burden of this knowledge, the understanding that they were the bridge between the heavens and the earth, interpreters of a divine script written in the stars. Beyond the walls of their sanctuaries, the world struggled to find its balance amidst the chaos. The specter of the plague loomed large, a shadow that stretched across continents, leaving in its wake a trail of sorrow and despair. The astrologers saw in the stars a reflection of this suffering, the celestial dance mirroring the human struggle. Yet they also saw the potential for healing, for transformation, a chance to learn from the lessons of the past and forge a new path forward. As the year progressed, the skies offered glimpses of hope amidst the foreboding. A comet, blazing a trail across the night, captured the imagination of all who gazed upon it. To the astrologers, it was a sign of change, a harbinger of new beginnings. The tail of the comet, a luminous cascade of stardust, seemed to sweep away the old, making way for the new. It was a celestial brushstroke upon the canvas of the night, a reminder of the impermanence of all things and the promise of renewal. In the villages and towns, people gathered in the squares, their faces turned skyward, their eyes wide with wonder and fear. The comet, a visitor from the far reaches of the cosmos, was a spectacle that transcended the mundane, a moment that united all under the vast, unending sky. In the presence of such grandeur, the petty concerns of daily life fell away, replaced by a sense of awe and reverence for the universe and its mysteries. The astrologers watched, their hearts filled with a quiet resolve. They knew that their role was not merely to predict events, but to offer guidance, to help navigate the turbulent waters of existence. In their readings, they sought not to incite fear, but to provide insight, to illuminate the path forward with the light of the stars. They spoke of resilience, of the strength to endure, and the courage to embrace change. They reminded their listeners that, like the stars, they too were part of a greater whole, their lives woven into the fabric of the cosmos. As the year drew to a close, there was a sense of quiet reflection. The trials of 1347 had tested the limits of endurance, but they had also forged bonds of compassion and solidarity. In the face of adversity, communities had come together, united by their shared humanity and the belief that, despite the darkness, there was always light to be found. The astrologers, their eyes ever on the heavens, saw in the stars a promise of renewal, a reminder that even the darkest night gives way to the dawn. In the stories that would be told of this year, the stars would play their part, their light a constant companion in the journey of life. They would be remembered not only for their role in the unfolding events, but for the hope they inspired, the dreams they nurtured. For in the end, it was not the trials that defined 1347, but the resilience of the human spirit, the ability to find meaning in the midst of chaos, and to dream of a future shaped by the lessons of the past. And so, in the quiet of the night, as the world held its breath for what lay ahead, the stars continued their silent vigil. Their light, distant yet ever present, was a beacon of hope, a reminder of the enduring connection between the heavens and the earth, between the mortal and the divine. In that light, the world found its place, a small yet vital part of the grand cosmic tapestry, woven together by the threads of fate and free will. And thus, the story of 1347, with all its trials and triumphs, became a part of the endless journey of time, a chapter in the ever-unfolding book of history. In the deep embrace of the night, where shadows whispered secrets to the wind and time seemed to stretch its fingers into eternity, the world of 1347 lay suspended between dreams and reality. The air was thick with the scent of earth and possibility, a rich tapestry woven with the delicate threads of life and death, joy and sorrow. It was a time when the very essence of existence was questioned, a year when the heavens seemed to cast a shadow over the land, challenging the resilience of the human heart. The celestial bodies, ancient guardians of the skies, moved in their eternal dance, their paths preordained yet mysterious. Each star, a distant sun, held within its glow the stories of millennia, tales of creation, destruction, and rebirth. They shimmered with a light that had traveled through the vastness of space, a testament to the enduring nature of the cosmos. And yet, for all their brilliance, they seemed to carry a weight, a foreboding whisper that unsettled the hearts of those who gazed upon them. In villages and towns across Europe, people looked to the stars for answers, seeking solace in the constellations that had guided their ancestors for generations. The astrologers, those enigmatic interpreters of the celestial script, found themselves in high demand, their knowledge sought by those desperate for guidance in a world gone awry. They spoke of alignments and conjunctions, of planets in retrograde and omens of change. Their voices, filled with both caution and comfort, painted a picture of a world in flux, where destiny played out upon the great stage of the universe. As the Black Death swept across the land, an invisible tide that left despair in its wake, the stars offered a distant, unchanging solace. The plague, a dark specter that moved silently through the night, claimed the lives of loved ones with a merciless hand. Families were torn apart, communities devastated, and yet the stars remained, a constant in a world of uncertainty. They were a reminder of the vastness of the universe, of the insignificance of human woes in the grand scheme of things. Yet, in their light, there was also the promise of continuity, of a future beyond the present darkness. In the quiet corners of candlelit rooms, as the sick were tended and the dead mourned, stories were spun like threads of gold, offering respite from the harshness of reality. These tales, passed down through generations, were imbued with the wisdom of the past, the hopes of the present, and the dreams of the future. They spoke of heroes and heroines, of gods and monsters, of journeys to distant lands and quests for lost treasures. In these narratives, people found a way to transcend their suffering, to imagine a world where the trials of today would give way to the triumphs of tomorrow. Outside, the natural world continued its own cycle, indifferent to the plight of humanity. The rivers flowed steadfastly to the sea, their waters reflecting the silver glow of the moon. The forests stood tall and silent, their leaves whispering secrets to the wind. In the fields, the crops grew, tended by hands both weary and hopeful, a testament to the perseverance of life. The seasons changed, each bringing its own challenges and gifts, a reminder of the eternal dance of life and death. And within this dance, the human spirit endured. It was a testament to the strength of the heart, to the power of hope and love. For even in the darkest of times, there were moments of beauty, of joy that shone like stars in the night sky. A child's laughter, the warmth of a shared meal, the comfort of a familiar embrace. These were the anchors that held people steady as the world spun around them. The year 1347, with all its horrors and heartaches, became a crucible in which the essence of humanity was tested and refined. It was a time when the bonds of community were strengthened, when the lines between the living and the dead blurred, creating a tapestry of shared experience that transcended the boundaries of life itself. And through it all, the stars remained, their light a guiding force, a reminder that even in the face of overwhelming darkness, there is a flicker of light, a spark of hope that can never be extinguished. In the stillness of the night, as the world held its collective breath, the stars continued to shine, their light a bridge between the past and the future. They were a reminder of the enduring nature of the human spirit, of the capacity for love and resilience that defines us all. And as the dawn broke, painting the sky in hues of pink and gold, the world awoke to a new day, a new chapter in the story of time. The whispers of the past, the lessons learned, and the dreams of the future all converged in that moment, creating a symphony of life that resonated through the ages. And so the story of 1347 became not just a tale of suffering and survival, but a testament to the enduring power of hope, a reminder that even in the darkest of times, the light of the stars will guide us home. As the gentle glow of dawn spread across the horizon, the world stirred from its slumber, the air infused with the promise of a new beginning. The year 1347 had been marked by turmoil and despair, yet the light of the stars had never wavered, a constant presence in the ever-shifting tapestry of existence. It was under this celestial canopy that life continued to unfold, each moment a delicate thread woven into the vast, intricate fabric of time. In the villages and cities scattered across the land, people awoke to the familiar sounds of morning. A rooster crowing in the distance, the rustle of leaves in the breeze, the gentle murmur of a river flowing steadily on its course. These sounds, though mundane, were a symphony to those who had learned to cherish the ordinary, who found solace in the rhythm of daily life amidst the chaos that had gripped the world. The astrologers of the time, with their eyes trained on the heavens, sought to decipher the mysteries written in the stars. They were the keepers of ancient wisdom, their knowledge a bridge between the earthly and the divine. To them, the stars were not mere points of light, but celestial guides, their positions and movements imbued with meaning and insight. In their calculations, they sought answers, a glimpse into the future that lay shrouded in uncertainty. Yet, even as they charted the celestial course, they understood that the stars, while powerful, could not dictate the path of human hearts. The cosmos was a reflection of the world below, a mirror that showed both beauty and chaos, harmony and discord. And so, the astrologers watched and waited, their eyes ever turned to the sky, hoping for signs of brighter days to come. In the hearts of the people there was a quiet resilience, a determination to endure and overcome. They moved through their days with a sense of purpose, tending to their fields, crafting their wares, and nurturing their families. Each task, no matter how small, was an act of defiance against the darkness that sought to engulf them. It was a testament to the unyielding spirit of humanity, a reminder that even in the face of adversity, life would find a way to persist. The children, with their boundless energy and unbridled curiosity, were the torchbearers of hope. In their laughter and play, they carried the promise of a future unburdened by the shadows of the past. They chased one another through fields of wildflowers, their laughter ringing out like the sweetest of melodies. They were unafraid of what lay ahead, for they knew that the stars would always be there to light their way. As the seasons shifted, the earth underwent its own transformation, the cycle of life continuing unabated. Fields of golden wheat swayed in the gentle breeze, their rippling waves a testament to the abundance that nature bestowed upon the land. The trees, once bare and skeletal, now stood tall and proud, their branches heavy with the fruits of summer. The world was a tapestry of color and life, a reminder that even in the darkest of times, beauty could still be found. The nights, though long and often cold, offered moments of reflection and connection. Families gathered around hearths, their faces illuminated by the warm glow of the fire. They shared stories and songs, their voices intertwining in a chorus of memory and hope. The stars above listened, their ancient light bearing witness to the tales of love and loss, of dreams and desires that had been passed down through generations. In the quiet of the night, when the world seemed to hold its breath, there was a sense of peace, a feeling that all was as it should be. The stars, with their eternal light, offered a glimpse of eternity, a reminder that no matter how turbulent the world became, there was a greater order, a cosmic harmony that endured beyond the trials of the moment. And so, the year 1347, though marked by suffering, became a chapter in the grand narrative of time. It was a year that tested the limits of human endurance, yet it also revealed the depths of human compassion, the strength of the bonds that connected people to one another and to the world around them. It was a year that taught the value of hope, of the light that could be found even in the darkest of times. The stars, with their unwavering presence, were a symbol of constancy, a reminder that we are all part of something greater than ourselves. They were a testament to the enduring power of the human spirit, to the capacity for love and resilience that defines us all. And as the world continued to turn, as the years unfolded in their inexorable march, the light of the stars remained, a beacon in the night, a guide for all who dared to dream. The gentle glow of dawn once more kissed the horizon, setting the sky ablaze with hues of pink and gold. The world awoke to a new day, a new chapter in the story of time. And though the shadows of the past lingered, there was a light that shone ever brighter, a light that promised a future filled with hope and possibility. For in the end, it was not the darkness that defined 1347, but the light of the stars, the light of the human spirit, the light of hope that could never be extinguished. And as the sun rose higher in the sky, casting its warm embrace upon the earth, the world continued to turn, ever onward, ever forward, guided by the light of the stars. Yet beneath this celestial tapestry, beneath the promising embrace of the dawn, the world in 1347 was poised on the precipice of a great and terrible transformation. The air, once crisp with the scent of morning dew, seemed now to hang heavy with the foreboding whispers of an uncertain future. The heavens, with their ancient wisdom, had begun to weave a tale far darker than any mortal soul could have foreseen. The astrological alignments of this fateful year were ominous, casting long shadows upon the lands of men. Saturn, the great teacher with its rings of time, lingered in a harsh square with Uranus, the harbinger of upheaval. It was a cosmic symphony of tension, a celestial danse macabre that promised disruption and chaos. Jupiter, the benevolent giant, had retreated into the depths of Scorpio, its expansive energy now tainted by the mysteries and shadows of the Scorpion's realm. It was as if the universe itself conspired to teach humanity lessons of resilience and transformation through the crucible of suffering. In the villages and towns that dotted the landscape, from the rolling hills of Tuscany to the shadowed alleys of Constantinople, the people went about their daily lives, unaware of the cosmic drama unfolding above them. They tilled their fields, baked their bread, and gathered in marketplaces, exchanging stories and goods, their laughter ringing like a balm against the encroaching dread. Yet, there was an undercurrent of unease, a tension that even the most joyous laughter could not dispel. The first signs were subtle, like the tremors that precede an earthquake. There were whispers of sickness in the ports, tales of ships arriving with fewer men than had set sail, of sailors with eyes sunken and skin ashen. It was a pestilence unseen, a specter that moved silently and swiftly, its touch as cold as the grave. The astrologers, those ancient seers who read the language of the stars, began to mutter of a malady born from the very fabric of the heavens, a scourge that would test the mettle of humanity itself. As Mars, the planet of war and strife, moved into retrograde, its fiery energy seemed to ignite a fever within the hearts of men. Conflicts that had simmered quietly for years burst forth with renewed ferocity, as if the cosmos had fanned the flames of discord. In cities and castles, in fields and forests, the air grew thick with the cries of battle, the clashing of swords, the desperate pleas of those caught in the crossfire. It was a time of reckoning, a time when the old ways were torn asunder to make way for the new. Yet, amidst the turmoil, there were those who sought solace in the wisdom of the stars, who understood that even in the darkest of times, there was a purpose, a greater design at play. They gathered in secret, these seekers of truth, beneath the vaulted ceilings of ancient temples, within candlelit chambers that whispered of forgotten lore. Together, they traced the paths of the planets, the intricate dance of the celestial bodies, seeking answers, seeking hope. In the quiet hours of the night, when the world was wrapped in the velvet cloak of darkness, they turned their eyes to the heavens, to the constellations that had guided sailors across uncharted seas, that had marked the passing of seasons for generations untold. They saw in the stars not only the portents of doom, but also the promise of renewal. For the cosmos, in its infinite wisdom, was a mirror reflecting the cycles of life and death, of endings and beginnings. And so, as the pestilence spread, as the wars raged, as the fabric of society was stretched to its limits, there were those who held fast to the belief that this too was part of the great cycle, that from the ashes of the old, a new world would rise. They spoke of the phoenix, that mythical bird that is consumed by fire only to be reborn from its own ashes, a symbol of hope and rebirth. In the quiet moments between the chaos, there were acts of kindness, of compassion that defied the darkness. A mother cradled her child, singing lullabies to soothe away the fears of the night. A stranger shared a loaf of bread, a simple gesture that spoke of solidarity and shared humanity. A healer tended to the sick, her touch gentle, her heart full of an unyielding faith in the power of love and healing. As the year wore on, as summer gave way to autumn, the stars continued their dance across the sky, each movement measured, each alignment a note in the cosmic symphony. The air grew cooler, the leaves turned to gold, and the earth, in its infinite cycles, prepared for the long sleep of winter. And with the changing of the seasons, there came a quieting, a moment of reflection amidst the storm. For even in the worst of times, there is a stillness to be found, a moment when the world holds its breath, when the soul can find respite and renewal. It is in these moments that the human spirit shines brightest, when the light of hope flickers and refuses to be extinguished. As the year drew to a close, the people looked to the sky, to the stars that had witnessed their triumphs and their tragedies, their joys and their sorrows. They saw in the vast expanse of the universe a reflection of their own journey. a testament to the resilience and strength that resides within each of us. And though the path ahead was uncertain, though the trials they faced were great, there was a quiet confidence that just as the stars endure, so too would they. In the end, it was not the darkness of 1347 that defined them, but the light of the stars, the light of the human spirit, the light of hope that could never be extinguished. And as the world continued to turn ever onward, ever forward, they carried with them the lessons of the past, the promise of the future, and the enduring strength of the human heart. As the cold breath of winter settled across the land, its icy fingers tracing patterns of frost on windows and fields, the world seemed to hold its breath. The year 1347 was winding down, a tumultuous chapter in the lives of those who had borne witness to its trials, and yet, amidst the chill, there was a quietude that whispered of new beginnings, of a world readying itself for the rebirth of spring. In the small villages and towns that dotted the landscape, the people clung to rituals that had comforted generations before them. Fires crackled in hearths, casting a warm, amber glow on faces weathered by time and toil. The scent of pine and cedar smoke mingled with the crispness of the air, weaving an aromatic tapestry that wrapped around the soul like a familiar, worn blanket. Families gathered close, sharing stories that had been passed down through the years, tales spun from the threads of memory and imagination. These stories, rich with the lessons of the past, were told in hushed tones, as if the very act of speaking them aloud could ward off the shadows of despair. Each word was a beacon, a reminder that they were not alone, that their ancestors had faced hardships and had emerged stronger and wiser. Outside, the stars continued their silent vigil, distant yet intimately connected to the lives below. The constellations, those celestial patterns that had guided sailors and shepherds alike, seemed to pulse with a life of their own, their radiant light a testament to the ineffable mysteries of the universe. The people turned their gaze upward, eyes tracing the familiar shapes and seeking solace in their constancy. Astrologers, the interpreters of the stars' whispers, had long spoken of the cycles that governed human fate. The celestial dance that entwined the destinies of all who walked this earth. The year had been marked by ominous alignments, by a cosmic choreography that foretold struggle and transformation. Yet as the final days of 1347 slipped away like sand through an hourglass, there was a sense that the celestial scales were shifting, that the heavens were poised to deliver a gift long awaited. In the quiet hours before dawn, when the world lay in a cocoon of stillness, a peculiar hush fell over the earth. It was a moment suspended in time, where the boundary between the seen and unseen blurred, and the air thrummed with a palpable energy. The wise ones, the keepers of ancient knowledge, felt it in their bones, a subtle change in the rhythm of the stars, a promise woven into the very fabric of the cosmos. As the first light of daybreak painted the sky in hues of lavender and rose, a sense of renewal took root in the hearts of the people. They emerged from their homes, drawn by an invisible thread that connected them to the earth and the sky, to each other and to the universe that cradled them all. The chill of the morning was softened by the warmth of their collective hope, a burning ember that refused to be snuffed out. The land, too, seemed to awaken from its slumber. Frost glistened like diamonds on bare branches, a testament to nature's artistry, while the ground, hardened by winter's grip, whispered of the life hidden beneath its surface. Birds, those harbingers of change, filled the air with song, their melodies weaving a symphony of renewal and possibility. In the fields, the farmers turned their eyes to the soil, contemplating the seeds they would soon sow. Each seed was a promise, a pledge to the future, a testament to the enduring cycle of life and death, growth and decay. The earth, resilient and patient, awaited the tender touch of their hands, ready to cradle the dreams they dared to plant. Within the villages, the artisans and craftspeople, whose hands had shaped the tools and wares that sustained life, resumed their work with a renewed vigor. Their creations, born from the marriage of skill and imagination, were imbued with the spirit of the age, a reflection of a people determined to carve out a future from the stone of adversity. The children, those bright sparks of innocence and possibility, played in the streets, their laughter a balm to weary souls. They wove dreams from the threads of their imagination, dreams that soared like kites on the wind, unburdened by the weight of the past. In their eyes danced the light of 1,000 stars, a reminder that the future was yet unwritten, a canvas awaiting the brushstrokes of their lives. As the days lengthened and the sun's embrace grew warmer, the people found strength in their unity, in the bonds forged through shared experience and shared hope. They gathered in celebration, marking the turning of the year with rituals steeped in tradition, their voices rising in song and prayer, a chorus of gratitude and anticipation. The astrologers, those sages who had read the portents in the heavens, spoke now of a new alignment, a harmonious convergence that promised a season of healing and growth. The stars, those silent witnesses to the ebb and flow of time, seemed to nod in agreement, their light a benediction on the world below. And so, as the wheel of the year turned and the shadows of 1347 receded into memory, the people stepped forward, their hearts buoyed by the promise of the stars and the indomitable spirit that burned within. They carried with them the lessons of the past, the strength forged in the crucible of hardship, and the unwavering belief that, like the phoenix rising from the ashes, they too would emerge renewed and transformed. In the quiet of the night, when the world was cloaked in the velvet of darkness, they looked once more to the sky, to the stars that had guided them through the storm. And in that glittering expanse, they found a reflection of their own journey, a testament to the resilience and strength that resides within each of us. And though the path ahead was uncertain, though the trials they faced were great, there was a quiet confidence that just as the stars endure, so too would they. In the end, it was not the darkness of 1347 that defined them, but the light of the stars, the light of the human spirit, the light of hope that could never be extinguished. And as the world continued to turn, ever onward, ever forward, they carried with them the lessons of the past, the promise of the future, and the enduring strength of the human heart, stepping into the dawn of a new era with courage and grace. In the gentle embrace of dawn, as the first tendrils of light stretched across the horizon, like the fingers of a newborn reaching for the warmth of a parent, the world began to stir. The air was crisp and cool, carrying with it the scent of dew-kissed earth and the faint, lingering aroma of wood smoke from the hearths that had kept vigil through the night. It was a morning like no other, a delicate symphony of sound and silence, where the whisper of the wind through the trees harmonized with the distant call of a lark greeting the sun. The villagers, tucked within their modest cottages, awoke to this symphony, their hearts cautiously unfurling like petals of a flower, testing the air for signs of spring. Outside, the ground was soft beneath their feet, damp with the tears of the night gone by, yet firm enough to support the weight of hope renewed. The sky, a canvas of pale blue and gold, seemed to promise a day unspoiled by the shadows of the past. As they ventured from their homes, their eyes met the morning's gentle light with a sense of reverence. The sky above held the promise of clarity, a stark contrast to the chaos they had known. The villagers gathered, drawn together by an invisible thread, a shared understanding woven from the fabric of survival and endurance. In the heart of the village, where cobblestones formed a mosaic path leading to the central square, a gathering of souls took place. Faces, once etched with the lines of worry and fear, now carried hints of a cautious optimism. Conversations flowed like a river, unhurried and meandering, as stories of old intertwined with dreams of what might yet be. Among them, a wise elder, his hair a crown of silver, spoke in a voice that seemed to resonate with the very earth beneath their feet. His words were not of prophecy, but of perspective, a reminder that the stars, though distant, were kindred spirits in their constancy. "They have watched us," he said, his eyes reflecting the light of the morning, through tempest and tranquility alike. "And they remind us that we, too, are part of something much greater, a tapestry woven with threads of resilience and tenacity." His words were like seeds planted in the fertile ground of their minds, and the villagers listened with hearts open wide. They knew, as they stood together beneath the vast expanse of sky, that the trials of the past year had not been in vain. Each hardship, each tear shed had been a part of their story, a chapter in the epic of human perseverance. And so, as the sun climbed higher, casting its golden glow upon the land, they set to work. With hands calloused from labor and hearts softened by shared suffering, they tilled the soil and sowed the seeds of a new season. The fields, once barren and neglected, began to pulse with life, a testament to the enduring cycle of death and rebirth. The children, with their laughter like the tinkling of distant bells, played among the rows, their joy unbounded by the weight of history. They chased one another through the fields, their footsteps leaving imprints in the earth, ephemeral yet profound. It was a dance of innocence and hope, a celebration of life in its purest form. Meanwhile, in the shade of an ancient oak, a group of women gathered, their hands busy with the creation of tapestries and garments. Their fingers moved with deft precision, weaving patterns that told stories of the stars and the earth, of the past and the future. As they worked, they sang songs passed down through generations, melodies that spoke of love and loss, of courage and redemption. The men, too, found solace in the rhythm of work. They repaired roofs and mended fences, their actions a quiet affirmation of their commitment to rebuilding. With each swing of the hammer, each stroke of the saw, they crafted a future shaped by their own hands. As the day wore on, the sun reached its zenith, casting long shadows that danced upon the ground. The village was alive with the hum of activity, a living testament to the strength of community and the power of collective will. It was a scene of quiet determination, where every small act of kindness and every gesture of support wove together to form a tapestry of resilience. And as the sun began its descent, painting the sky with hues of amber and rose, the villagers gathered once more. This time, they came together not out of necessity, but out of a desire to celebrate. A simple feast was laid out, a bounty of bread and cheese, fruits and honey, a testament to the earth's generosity and their own hard work. Laughter mingled with the evening breeze, as stories were shared and songs were sung. The air was filled with the warmth of camaraderie, a reminder that even in the darkest of times, the light of human connection could never be extinguished. It was a moment of unity, a celebration of life and love, of hope that refused to be dimmed. As the stars began to emerge, one by one, in the deepening twilight, the villagers looked up to the heavens with a sense of wonder. The celestial dance above mirrored their own journey, a reminder that though the path was often fraught with challenges, it was also rich with beauty and possibility. In that moment, beneath the vast canopy of stars, they understood that the year 1347, with all its trials and tribulations, had not been the worst year to be alive. It had been a year of transformation, a crucible in which they had been tested and found strong. It had been a year that had taught them the true meaning of resilience and the enduring power of hope. And so, as the night deepened and the world was once more cloaked in darkness, they carried with them the light of the stars, the light of the human spirit, a beacon to guide them through whatever lay ahead. For they knew, with a quiet certainty, that just as the stars endured, so too would they. The night enveloped the village in its gentle embrace, breathing a hushed lullaby that rustled through the leaves and whispered secrets to the earth. The villagers, nestled in their small homes, felt the cool breath of the evening air as it drifted through open windows, carrying with it the scent of wild thyme and the distant murmur of a sleepy brook. Above them, the celestial tapestry unfolded with an elegance only the universe could muster. Constellations, each a story woven across the night sky, glowed with an ethereal light, casting their ancient tales down to earth. Orion, with his steadfast gaze, stood watchful over the horizon, while the Pleiades shimmered like a cluster of diamonds scattered across black velvet. In the heart of the village, old Gisela, the wise woman, sat outside her modest cottage, her eyes closed as she listened to the symphony of the night. Her fingers traced the worn wooden beads of her rosary, not out of habit, but as a way to feel the pulse of something greater than herself. She had lived through many seasons, weathered countless storms, and yet the events of 1347 had etched themselves deeply upon her soul. As the gentle sounds of the night wrapped around her like a comforting shawl, Gisela reflected on the celestial portents that had marked this year as particularly ominous. The alignment of Saturn and Mars, said to bring discord and disease, had been a constant reminder of the cosmic forces at play. Yet, she mused, these alignments were but one part of a grander cosmic tapestry, a dance of planets and stars that had been set in motion eons before. In the quiet of the night, memories drifted back to her, and she saw the faces of those who had suffered and those who had survived, each etched into her heart with the clarity of a fresco. There was young Tomas, whose laughter had been a balm to the weary, and Marta, whose strength had been a beacon of hope for all who knew her. Each had faced their own trials, and each had emerged, changed but unwavering. The air was alive with the song of crickets, their rhythmic chorus mingling with the distant call of a night owl. Gisela opened her eyes, her gaze drawn upwards to the stars, and she felt a kinship with the celestial bodies. They had endured the passage of time, witnessed the rise and fall of empires, and yet they remained steadfast and eternal. In the quiet solitude of her thoughts, she pondered the lessons of the year. It was true that the plague had swept through the land with a ferocity that rivaled the fiercest winter storm, leaving devastation in its wake. But within the shadows of despair, there had been moments of profound beauty and acts of kindness that shone like beacons in the night. She remembered how the community had come together, bound by a shared sense of purpose and determination. It was as if the trials of the year had forged a bond stronger than any iron chain, a testament to the resilience of the human spirit. The villagers had learned to cherish the simple joys, a shared meal, the laughter of children, the warmth of a fire on a cold night. Gisela's thoughts turned to the future, uncertain, yet filled with potential. She knew that the lessons of 1347 would not soon be forgotten. They were written in the hearts of those who had lived through the year, a silent vow to face whatever came next with courage and hope. As the night deepened, her gaze fell upon the constellation of Cygnus, the swan. In its graceful form, she saw a symbol of transformation and renewal, a reminder that life, like the stars, was ever-changing, ever-evolving. The trials of the past year had been but one chapter in the story of their lives, a story still unfolding. The stars above continued their silent vigil, and Gisela, feeling the pull of sleep, rose from her seat. She cast one last look at the sky, her heart full of gratitude for the lessons learned and the strength gained. The stars, she thought, were a testament to the enduring nature of hope, a promise that even in the darkest of times, there was light to be found. With a gentle sigh, she turned towards her cottage, her steps sure and steady. The night, with all its mysteries, was a companion she welcomed, a reminder that though the path ahead was unknown, it was also filled with infinite possibilities. Inside her home, the dim glow of the hearth cast a warm embrace over the room, the fire's soft crackle, a soothing counterpoint to the quiet of the night. She settled into her chair, her heart at peace, knowing that with each new day, the light of hope would continue to guide them, as constant and unwavering as the stars themselves. And so the village slept, cradled in the arms of the night, while the stars watched over them, a celestial promise that they were never truly alone. The year 1347, with all its trials, had been a crucible in which they had been tested and found strong, a testament to the resilience of the human spirit and the enduring power of hope. In the stillness of the night, beneath the vast canopy of stars, they dreamed of a future bright with possibility, a future where the lessons of the past would guide them, a future where hope, like the stars, would endure forever. The village nestled like a secret in the folds of the rolling hills, embraced by the shadows of ancient oaks whose branches danced in the whispering winds of the night. The stars, those eternal sentinels, adorned the velvet sky, weaving a tapestry of dreams and destinies interlaced. Each star, a flickering beacon, told tales of times long past and futures yet to unfold, a cosmic library where stories of joy, sorrow, triumph, and defeat lay immortalized. As the villagers slumbered, their dreams were woven with the silver threads of celestial light. They dreamt of hope born anew, of fields abundant with golden wheat swaying in the gentle breeze, of laughter shared under the boughs of blossoming trees, where the burdens of the year lifted like morning mist kissed by the sun. The stars whispered these dreams to the earth, embedding them in the soil, nurturing them as seeds of resilience and renewal. In one humble cottage, the hearth's glow flickered softly, shadows playing gently across the stone walls. The woman who sat there was known as Alara, a name given to her by her mother when the night sky had been ablaze with stars. Alara was a keeper of stories, her heart a vessel filled with the wisdom of ages past, her mind a tapestry rich with the colors of imagination. She had lived through the trials of 1347, bearing witness to the devastation wrought by the pestilence and the despair that had seeped into the very bones of the village. Yet Alara was not one to surrender to darkness. Her spirit shone brightly, a beacon of hope for those who had lost their way. She gathered the village children around her, their wide eyes reflecting the flickering light of the fire, and she spoke of the constellations above. Her voice was a gentle lullaby, threading through the night, weaving tales of courage and perseverance. "Look to the stars, my children," she would say, her voice a soft caress against the night's chill. "For they are the eyes of the universe, watching over us, guiding us through the darkest of times. Each star holds a lesson, each constellation a story. Let them be your compass when the path is obscured, your solace when despair threatens to overwhelm." The children listened, their young hearts absorbing her words like sponges, their imaginations painting vivid pictures of celestial beings and mythical heroes. In their dreams, they soared among the stars, their spirits unburdened by the woes of the waking world. And when dawn's first light touched the village, they awoke with hearts buoyed by the promise of a new day. Beyond the village, the land stretched vast and wild, a symphony of nature's harmonies. The river sang softly as it meandered through the fields, a silver ribbon reflecting the colors of the dawn. The trees whispered secrets to those who cared to listen, their leaves rustling like pages of an ancient tome. And the earth, oh the earth, it breathed a deep, resonant sigh, carrying within it the memory of all that had been and all that was yet to come. As the year turned, the villagers found themselves drawn closer together, their bonds forged in the crucible of shared hardships. They gathered as one beneath the stars, their voices rising in song, a hymn of gratitude for the blessings they had, and a prayer for the strength to face whatever lay ahead. The air was thick with the scent of possibility, a sweet perfume that filled their lungs and gave wings to their dreams. Among them was a young man named Caden, whose heart beat with the rhythm of the earth itself. He was a farmer, his hands calloused from years of toil, his skin kissed by the sun and marked by the passage of time. Yet in his eyes shone the light of hope, a spark that refused to be extinguished by the trials of the past year. Caden had learned to read the stars from Alara, his mentor and friend. Under her guidance, he had discovered a world beyond the limitations of his earthly existence, a world where the stars spoke in a language he was just beginning to understand. They told him of cycles and patterns, of the interconnectedness of all things, and of a destiny that was his to shape. One night, as he lay beneath the vast expanse of the sky, Caden felt a stirring within him, a calling that resonated deep in his soul. The stars seemed to pulse with a rhythm that matched his heartbeat, a celestial symphony that beckoned him to rise and play his part in the grand tapestry of life. He knew then that his path was not merely to till the soil and reap its bounties, but to weave the lessons of the stars into the fabric of his existence. With each passing day, he sought to live in harmony with the earth, to honor the cycles of nature, and to inspire those around him to do the same. The villagers, inspired by Caden's example, began to see their world through new eyes. They learned to appreciate the beauty that lay in the simplest of things, the delicate unfurling of a leaf, the gentle hum of bees in the orchard, the kaleidoscope of colors painted across the sky at dusk. They discovered that joy could be found in the shared labor of planting seeds, in the laughter of children chasing fireflies, in the quiet moments of reflection beneath the stars. As the seasons turned and the earth renewed itself, so too did the village. They rebuilt what had been lost, their hands guided by the light of hope that had been kindled within them. They planted new crops, their fields once again vibrant with life, and celebrated the harvest with dances and feasts, their voices lifted in songs of gratitude. Alara watched over them, her heart swelling with pride and love. She saw the transformation that had taken place, not just in the village, but in each individual soul. They had emerged from the shadows of 1347, stronger and more resilient, bound together by the shared understanding that they were never truly alone. The stars continued to watch over them, silent witnesses to the unfolding of their lives. They shimmered with the promise of endless possibilities, a reminder that even in the darkest of times, there was always light to be found. And as the village dreamed beneath their celestial gaze, they carried within them the hope that had sustained them through the trials of the past and would guide them into the future. In the quiet of the night, as the world lay wrapped in the tender embrace of slumber, the stars whispered their ancient secrets to the earth. They spoke of love and loss, of dreams and destinies, of the eternal dance of life that transcended time and space. And the village, cradled in the arms of the night, listened with open hearts, their souls attuned to the music of the cosmos, their spirits lifted on wings of hope. In the hushed stillness of the night, the village lay nestled under a vast expanse of dazzling constellations, each star a beacon of ancient wisdom and cosmic wonder. The air was cool and crisp, carrying the faint, fragrant scent of lavender and heather, which grew wild at the edges of the fields. The village seemed to breathe in unison with the universe, each inhalation a silent communion with the cosmos that cradled them in its infinite embrace. As the stars whispered their celestial lullabies, the villagers found solace in their dreams, those ephemeral landscapes where the boundaries of reality dissolved into the fluidity of imagination. In these dreams, they wandered through lush meadows under an eternal sun, felt the gentle caress of a breeze that spoke in the tongues of their ancestors, and danced with the spirits of those who had walked the earth before them. In one such dream, young Elara found herself on the shores of an otherworldly sea. The waters shimmered with a phosphorescent glow, mirroring the heavens above in a dance of light and shadow. She walked along the shoreline, her feet sinking into the cool, wet sand, leaving behind a trail of delicate impressions that the tide would soon reclaim. As she moved, she felt the presence of unseen companions, figures of light and shadow that flitted at the edges of her vision, whispering stories of the past, present, and future. The night was alive with the symphony of the cosmos, each note resonating with the deep, abiding rhythm of the universe. The constellations wheeled overhead, their patterns shifting in an eternal choreography that echoed the pulse of existence itself. Orion, the hunter, raised his mighty bow, his gaze fixed eternally on the horizon. The Pleiades huddled close, a cluster of sisters bound by destiny, their light a reminder of connection and kinship. Ilara's heart swelled with a profound sense of belonging. Here, under this sky, her existence was woven into the tapestry of stars, a single thread in the intricate fabric of the universe. She felt the weight of the ages upon her, a heritage of stardust and dreams that connected her not only to her ancestors, but to every living soul that had ever gazed up at the heavens and wondered at their place among the stars. Elsewhere in the village, the elder Matthias sat by his hearth, the gentle crackle of the fire, a counterpoint to the silent symphony of the stars. His eyes, clouded with the wisdom of many years, gazed into the flames as if seeking answers in their fiery depths. The warmth of the fire wrapped around him like a familiar embrace, a reminder of the ancient hearths that had sustained humanity through countless winters. Matthias's mind drifted through the corridors of memory, each recollection a room filled with the echoes of laughter and the shadows of loss. He remembered the days of his youth, when the village was vibrant with life, and the fields yielded bountiful harvests under the benevolent gaze of the sun. He recalled the faces of friends long gone, their voices now a part of the eternal chorus that sang in harmony with the stars. In the stillness of the night, Matthias felt the presence of those who had come before him, their spirits a guiding light in the darkened corridors of time. They had faced trials and tribulations, just as he had, and yet, through it all, they had persisted, their hopes and dreams a beacon for future generations. He understood now that their struggles had not been in vain, for the strength of their spirits had been passed down through the ages, a legacy of resilience and hope that had carried him through even the darkest of times. As the village slept, the earth turned gently on its axis, carrying them through the night and into the promise of a new dawn. The first light of morning crept over the horizon, painting the sky with hues of rose and gold. The stars began to fade, their light retreating into the vast depths of the cosmos, but their presence lingered, a silent promise of the endless cycle of night and day, of death and rebirth, of the eternal dance of life. The villagers awoke to the gentle caress of the morning sun, its rays a warm embrace that banished the shadows of the night. They carried with them the whispers of the stars, those ancient secrets that lingered in their hearts and minds, guiding them as they went about their daily lives. Each step they took was a testament to the resilience of the human spirit, a reminder that even in the face of adversity, they were capable of great strength and boundless hope. The village, once again bathed in the light of day, bustled with life and activity. Children played in the fields, their laughter a joyous symphony that echoed through the air, while the elders gathered in the square, sharing stories of the past and dreams of the future. The scent of freshly baked bread wafted through the air, a reminder of the simple pleasures that sustained them even in the midst of hardship. As the sun climbed higher in the sky, the villagers paused in their labors to gaze up at the heavens, their eyes tracing the paths of the stars that had guided them through the night. They felt a deep, abiding connection to the cosmos, a bond that transcended time and space, linking them to the ancestors who had come before and the descendants who would follow in their footsteps. In that moment, the villagers understood that they were not alone. They were part of a greater whole, a community of souls bound together by the threads of love and hope that wove through the fabric of existence. And as they looked to the future, they carried with them the knowledge that they were never truly alone, for the stars would always be there to guide them, their light a beacon of hope in the darkest of times. The celestial tapestry above them shimmered with an ethereal glow, a dance of luminescent bodies that whispered secrets of ages past. The villagers, with their ruddy cheeks and calloused hands, found solace in these celestial confidences, even as the world around them seemed to teeter on the brink of despair. They gathered in the square, their voices a harmonious murmur against the backdrop of the rustling leaves and the distant call of a nightingale. Beneath this vast canopy of sky, an ancient oak stood sentinel, its gnarled branches reaching like fingers towards infinity. The villagers often met beneath its boughs to seek guidance and to share tales steeped in the lore of the stars. Here, time seemed to flow differently, as if the very air was imbued with the wisdom of forgotten epochs. The elder of the village, a woman with eyes as deep and knowing as the night sky, sat at the base of the tree. Her presence was a quiet strength, a living testament to the resilience of the human spirit. She spoke of the constellations, tracing their patterns with a finger that seemed to draw lines across the heavens themselves. "The stars," she said, her voice a gentle lullaby, "have watched over us since the dawn of time. They have seen empires rise and fall, have borne witness to the dreams and despairs of countless souls. In their light, we find the stories of our ancestors, each flicker a memory, a moment of existence etched into the vastness of eternity." The villagers listened, enraptured by her words, feeling the weight of the history that surrounded them. Each star seemed to pulse with the heartbeat of the universe, a living chronicle of all that had been and all that would be. They were reminded of their place within this grand design, a single thread in a tapestry woven across the cosmos. Yet, the year 1347 had been marked by turmoil, a year when the alignment of the stars seemed to cast long shadows upon the earth. The astrologers, with their intricate charts and cryptic symbols, had spoken of a time of great upheaval, when the planets would conspire to test the mettle of humankind. In that year, the plague had swept across the land, a dark tide that spared few in its relentless march. The villagers had watched as friends and family succumbed to the invisible scourge, their lives extinguished like candles snuffed out by an unfeeling wind. The air had been thick with fear, a palpable dread that seeped into the very stones beneath their feet. And yet, even amidst the desolation, there was a flicker of hope, a stubborn light that refused to be extinguished. The villagers clung to their faith in the stars, believing that the same forces that had wrought such devastation could also bring healing and renewal. They looked to the heavens for signs, for omens of change that would herald a new dawn. The elder spoke of this duality, of the balance that must exist between light and dark. The cosmos, she said, is a mirror of our own souls. It reflects our fears and our hopes, our struggles and our triumphs. We are bound to it, just as it is bound to us, a dance of creation and destruction that is as old as time itself. Her words resonated deeply within the hearts of the villagers, a balm for their weary souls. They understood that they were part of a cycle, one that had been set in motion long before their time and would continue long after they were gone. The stars, in their eternal wisdom, offered a glimpse of this greater truth, a reminder that even in the darkest of times, there was always the promise of light. As the sun began its descent, painting the sky with hues of amber and rose, the villagers dispersed, each carrying the elder's words within them like a cherished talisman. They returned to their homes, to the warm glow of hearth fires and the comforting embrace of loved ones, their spirits buoyed by the knowledge that they were not alone. The night fell softly, a velvet shroud that wrapped the village in a comforting embrace. The stars emerged one by one, their light a gentle caress that banished the shadows and soothed the fears that lay hidden in the depths of the heart. In the quiet stillness, the villagers found peace, a moment of respite from the trials that had beset them. They lay beneath the open sky, their minds drifting on the currents of the universe, carried away on a tide of dreams and memories. The elder, too, found solace in the night. She sat alone beneath the oak, her gaze fixed on the heavens. She could feel the pulse of the earth beneath her, a steady rhythm that echoed the beating of her own heart. It was a reminder of the interconnectedness of all things, of the delicate balance that held the universe together. She closed her eyes, allowing the whispers of the stars to wash over her, a symphony of light and sound that spoke of forgotten worlds and untold wonders. It was a lullaby that carried her back through the ages, to a time when the world was young and the stars were newly born. In that moment, she understood the true power of the cosmos, the force that bound all things together in an eternal dance of creation and destruction. She knew that the stars would continue their vigil long after she was gone, their light a beacon of hope for generations yet to come. And so she sat beneath the ancient oak, a guardian of the stories that had been passed down through the ages. She was a keeper of the light, a guide for those who sought solace in the stars. In her heart, she carried the knowledge that the universe was vast and mysterious, but that it was also a place of infinite possibility. The night deepened, the stars twinkling brightly in the velvet sky. The village lay quiet and still, a peaceful haven in a world fraught with uncertainty. And as the elder sat beneath the oak, she felt a deep sense of gratitude, a profound understanding that the stars would always be there to guide them, their light a constant companion in the journey of life. In the vastness of the cosmos, the villagers found their place, a small but vital part of the grand design. They were the keepers of the stars, the guardians of the light, and as they looked to the heavens, they knew that they would never walk alone. Their ancestors watched over them, their spirits woven into the very fabric of the universe, a testament to the enduring power of hope and love. As the elder sat beneath the ancient oak, her thoughts drifted like the gentle breeze that rustled the leaves above. She remembered the stories told by her own grandmother, tales of celestial wonders and cosmic dances that painted the night sky with vibrant hues of destiny. The air was cool, tinged with the earthy scent of autumn leaves, and the gentle symphony of crickets filled the night with a calming rhythm. In the distance, the silhouette of the village rested against the horizon, its homes huddled together like a family seeking warmth and reassurance. The villagers slept, their dreams guided by the celestial maps drawn by their ancestors, a lineage of wisdom etched across the firmament. Tonight, the stars seemed to speak louder, their voices a chorus of ancient melodies that sang of times long past and futures yet to unfold. The elder closed her eyes, allowing her mind to wander beyond the confines of the present. She imagined the universe as a vast ocean, each star a distant island of light in an endless sea of darkness. In this cosmic ocean, the earth was but a small vessel, carried along by currents of fate and fortune. And yet within this small world, there was a richness of life and love that defied the vastness of the cosmos. Her thoughts turned to the year 1347, a year marked by hardship and despair. It was a time when the world seemed to tilt on its axis, throwing everything into chaos. Astrologers had spoken of ominous alignments, of planetary conjunctions that foretold doom and disaster. The stars, they said, were in turmoil, their harmonious dance disrupted by unseen forces. But even in the darkest of times, the villagers had looked to the heavens for guidance, their faith in the stars unwavering. The elder recalled the stories of that year, tales of plague and suffering that had spread like wildfire across the land. The Black Death, they called it, a relentless force that seemed to consume everything in its path. Villages were left desolate, families torn apart by grief and loss. It was a time when the stars seemed to dim, their light overshadowed by the darkness that enveloped the earth. Yet, amidst the despair, there were moments of resilience and hope. The villagers had gathered each night, seeking comfort in the shared rituals of stargazing and storytelling. They had looked to the stars not as harbingers of doom, but as beacons of hope, a reminder that even in the darkest of times, there was light to be found. The elder remembered how the astrologers had spoken of Saturn and Jupiter, their conjunction a portent of upheaval and change. But she also remembered the stories of Venus, the morning star, whose gentle light had offered solace and guidance. In the midst of chaos, there was beauty to be found, a reminder that the universe was a place of balance and harmony, even when it seemed to be in turmoil. As she sat beneath the oak, the elder felt a deep connection to the villagers of 1347, to their resilience and strength in the face of unimaginable adversity. She understood that the stars held no malice, that their movements were not the cause of suffering, but a reflection of the delicate balance of the cosmos. And she knew that the villagers of that time had found comfort in the stars, their light a constant companion in their journey through life. Her thoughts turned to the present, to the world that lay before her, filled with its own challenges and uncertainties. She knew that the villagers of today, like those of 1347, sought guidance and reassurance in the stars. And she felt a deep sense of responsibility, a calling to share the wisdom of the ancients, to remind her community that they were not alone in their struggles. The elder opened her eyes, gazing up at the night sky, where the stars continued their eternal dance. She felt the presence of her ancestors, their spirits intertwined with the light of the stars, a reminder that they were always watching over her, and she knew that she was a part of this great tapestry, a guardian of the light, a keeper of the stars. In the quiet of the night, beneath the ancient oak, the elder smiled. She felt a sense of peace, a knowing that the universe was vast and mysterious, but also filled with infinite possibility. The stars would continue to shine, their light a beacon of hope and love, guiding the villagers through the trials of life. And so she sat beneath the stars, her heart filled with gratitude for the enduring power of hope and love. The night stretched on, the stars twinkling brightly in the velvet sky, a reminder that the universe was a place of wonder and possibility. And as the elder closed her eyes once more, she knew that the villagers would never walk alone, their journey guided by the light of the stars and the wisdom of their ancestors. The night unfolded like a tapestry woven by the hands of time itself, each thread imbued with the whispers of eternity. A gentle breeze rustled the leaves of the ancient oak, a lullaby sung by the earth to its children. The elder sat in her reverie, her mind a tranquil sea reflecting the moon's gentle glow. Her thoughts danced around the cosmic truths she held dear, truths as old as the stars themselves, speaking of cycles and destinies intertwined. In the village, nestled in the embrace of the valley, life continued its rhythmic pulse. The villagers, unaware of the celestial conversations above, went about their nightly rituals, their hearts tethered to the land beneath their feet. The distant hoot of an owl punctuated the night, its call a reminder of the mysteries hidden in the shadows. Yet, in this seemingly ordinary night, the skies held a different story, one of caution, of challenges forged in the crucible of a cosmos brimming with paradoxes. The year 1347 was etched in the annals of astrology as a period of tumult, where the celestial bodies waged a silent war, their energies clashing and colliding in cosmic ballet. The planets, those divine arbiters of fate, aligned in patterns that foretold of trials and tribulations, a celestial script written in the language of the stars. Mars, the red planet, burned brightly in the sky, its fiery presence a harbinger of conflict and strife. Its energy seeped into the fabric of existence, igniting tempers and fueling the flames of discord. The village, though peaceful now, was not untouched by the influence of Mars. Disputes simmered beneath the surface, disagreements over land and harvest, threatening to fracture the delicate balance that held the community together. The elder, wise in the ways of the cosmos, understood the necessity of this celestial dance. Conflict, she knew, was not an end but a means, a catalyst for growth and transformation. It was through the fires of adversity that the soul was tempered, emerging stronger and more resilient. Yet, she also knew the importance of guiding her people through these turbulent times, to remind them of the light within, a light unextinguished by the shadows of strife. She rose from her place beneath the oak, the earth cool beneath her feet, and made her way to the heart of the village. Her presence was a balm, soothing the frayed edges of the communal spirit. She spoke of harmony, of the need to anchor themselves in love and understanding, to see beyond the immediate and into the eternal. Her words were like the gentle rain, nourishing and life-giving, seeping into the soil of their hearts. As the elder wove her wisdom into the fabric of the night, another celestial player emerged upon the stage, the moon, full and luminous, casting its silvery gaze upon the world. The moon, with its tides and rhythms, spoke of emotions and intuition, of the hidden depths within the human soul. It was a time of introspection, of seeking the truths buried beneath the surface. The villagers gathered beneath the moonlight, their faces upturned, eyes reflecting the celestial glow. They listened as the elder spoke of the moon's gift, of the power to see with the heart, to understand the unspoken and embrace the unseen. She encouraged them to delve into the waters of their emotions, to cleanse and renew their spirits, to find solace in the quiet corners of their being. As they stood together, their collective breath, a silent hymn to the night, the elder felt a shift in the air, a subtle change, a whisper of transformation. It was as if the universe, in its infinite wisdom, had acknowledged their intent, their willingness to grow and learn. The stars above twinkled in approval, their light a testament to the enduring power of the human spirit. The night wore on, a tapestry of dreams and possibilities unfurling beneath the watchful gaze of the cosmos. The villagers, their hearts attuned to the rhythms of the universe, began to see the beauty in the challenges they faced. They understood that the trials of 1347, though daunting, were not insurmountable. With each dawn, they would rise anew, their spirits fortified by the knowledge that they were not alone, that they were woven into the very fabric of the universe. And so, in the heart of the valley, under the vast expanse of the sky, a quiet resilience took root. The villagers, guided by the elder's wisdom and the light of the stars, embraced the journey ahead. They knew that the path would not always be easy, that the year would test them in ways they could not foresee. Yet they also knew that within them burned a light as eternal as the stars, a beacon to guide them through the darkest nights. In the quiet hours before dawn, as the world held its breath in anticipation of a new day, the elder returned to her place beneath the ancient oak. She looked up at the sky, the stars a symphony of light and possibility. Her heart swelled with gratitude, for she knew that even in the midst of chaos, there was beauty, and within every challenge lay the seeds of transformation. The night whispered its secrets to the elder, its voice a gentle caress upon her soul. She listened, her heart open to the wisdom of the ages, and knew with certainty that 1347, though formidable, was but a single chapter in the grand epic of existence. The universe, with its infinite complexity and boundless love, would continue to unfold, its mysteries a source of wonder and awe. And as the first light of dawn kissed the horizon, the elder closed her eyes, a serene smile gracing her lips. The world was vast and mysterious, its possibilities endless. She was but a humble guardian of the light, a keeper of the stars, and in that moment she knew that all was as it should be. The universe, in its infinite grace, held them all in its embrace, guiding them gently through the dance of life. The dawn's gentle touch slowly awakened the world, painting the sky with hues of soft pinks and golds. The elder felt the warmth on her face, a tender reminder of the eternal cycle of day and night that governed the rhythms of the earth. As she opened her eyes, the landscape before her glimmered with morning dew, each droplet a tiny prism reflecting the nascent light. Nature's symphony played softly in the background, the rustling of leaves and the distant call of a lark weaving together a melody of renewal. The village lay nestled in the valley below, a tapestry of earthen tones woven into the lush green of the surrounding hills. Smoke curled lazily from chimneys, a sign of life stirring within. The air was thick with the scent of damp earth and the sweet fragrance of wildflowers that had begun to bloom along the paths. The elder stretched her arms skyward, feeling the energy of the new day surge through her veins, and began her descent from the hilltop, her steps measured and deliberate. As she walked, the elder's thoughts returned to the celestial dance that had dominated her dreams the night before. The stars, those ancient storytellers, had whispered tales of upheaval and transformation, of endings that gave birth to new beginnings. The constellations, with their intricate patterns, spoke of the trials of 1347, foretelling a year of profound challenges. Yet they also hinted at the resilience of the human spirit, a flame that flickered but never died. Arriving at the heart of the village, the elder was greeted by familiar faces, their expressions a mix of weariness and hope. The people were gathered in the square, their voices a gentle murmur as they shared stories of their night, the dreams and portents that had visited them. The elder joined them, her presence a source of comfort and wisdom. She listened intently, her eyes soft with understanding, and when it was her turn to speak, her voice was a soothing balm. "The stars," she began, "have long been our guides, their light a beacon in the darkest of nights. They tell us that this year will test us, as the earth herself trembles and the skies unleash their fury. Yet within this tempest lies the promise of renewal. We must hold fast to our courage and to one another, for it is through unity that we will find strength." Her words resonated with the villagers, their eyes meeting hers with a newfound determination. They understood now that while the year ahead would be fraught with hardship, it was also an opportunity to grow, to deepen their connection to each other and to the land they called home. The elder saw their resolve and felt a spark of hope ignite within her heart, a small flame that would guide them through whatever lay ahead. The day unfolded gently, each moment a tapestry of sights and sounds. The villagers went about their tasks with a quiet diligence, the rhythmic thud of the mill wheel and the soft clatter of looms creating a backdrop to their labor. Children ran through the fields, their laughter a bright and joyous counterpoint to the seriousness of the adults' work. The elder watched over them all, her presence a reminder of the continuity of life, the passing of knowledge from one generation to the next. As noon approached, the sun climbed high in the sky, its warmth a gentle embrace that banished the lingering chill of the morning. The elder sought refuge beneath the shade of a great oak, its branches a canopy of green. She closed her eyes and let her mind wander, her thoughts drifting back to the night and the stories the stars had shared. She pondered the cycles of the cosmos, the ebb and flow of celestial tides that mirrored the rhythms of the earth. In the quiet of the afternoon, the elder's mind turned to the elements, those primal forces that shaped the world. She thought of fire, the fierce and untamed spirit that consumed and transformed, leaving behind fertile ash from which new life could spring. She thought of water, the gentle healer, its currents carrying the promise of change and renewal. She thought of air, the breath of life, and of earth, the steadfast foundation upon which all stood. Each element had its role to play in the drama of existence, just as each person had their part in the unfolding story of the village. The elder understood that 1347, with its trials and tribulations, was a crucible, a time of testing that would forge a stronger, more resilient community. She knew that it was through embracing both the hardships and the joys that they would find their way forward. As the afternoon waned and the shadows lengthened, the elder rose from her place beneath the oak and made her way back to the village square. The air was filled with the savory aroma of roasting meats and the sweet scent of baking bread, a testament to the villagers' dedication and resourcefulness. They gathered together as the sun began its descent, sharing a meal and stories of the day, their laughter and conversation a balm for weary souls. The elder sat among them, her heart full with gratitude for the simple beauty of their shared existence. She marveled at the resilience of the human spirit, the way it could endure and adapt, finding light even in the darkest of times. She saw in their faces the potential for growth and change, the seeds of transformation that would carry them through the trials of the year. As the last light of day faded and the stars emerged once more, the elder felt a deep sense of peace. She knew that while the road ahead would be difficult, they would not walk it alone. The universe, in all its vast complexity, held them in its embrace, guiding them with a gentle hand. The stars, those eternal witnesses, would watch over them, their light a reminder of the infinite possibilities that lay before them. And so, as the village settled into the quiet of the night, the elder closed her eyes and offered a silent prayer to the cosmos. She asked for strength and wisdom, for the courage to face whatever challenges lay ahead, and for the grace to find beauty in every moment. The stars twinkled in response, a symphony of light and possibility, their message clear and unwavering. Even in the midst of chaos, there was beauty, and within every challenge lay the seeds of transformation. The dawn of the new day crept softly over the village, the first rays of sunlight gently caressing the rooftops and fields. The air was crisp, carrying with it the scent of dew-kissed earth and the faint aroma of distant fires. As the villagers stirred awake, the world seemed momentarily suspended in a serene tableau, a fleeting pause before the unfolding of life's daily tapestry. In this tranquil morning, the elder rose with a sense of renewed purpose. Her heart was still resonating with the cosmic assurance she had felt under the stars. She stepped outside her modest dwelling, her feet finding familiar paths worn into the earth, paths that had borne witness to countless seasons and stories. The village was stirring, and the usual symphony of early morning sounds began to weave its melody. Birds greeting the day with song, the gentle murmur of the nearby stream, and the soft rustle of leaves in the awakening breeze. As she walked, the elder observed her surroundings with a heightened awareness. Every detail seemed to shimmer with significance. The delicate spiderwebs glistening with dew, the way sunlight filtered through the canopy of trees, casting dappled patterns on the ground. She paused by a cluster of wildflowers, their vibrant colors a testament to nature's resilience and beauty, even amid the hardships the year had brought. The elder's thoughts wandered to the celestial dance that had been unfolding above them. The planets and stars, in their intricate ballet, had woven a tapestry of influences that touched every aspect of life. It was said that the alignment of the heavens could shape the destinies of those below, and in this year, the stars had seemed to conspire in a way that challenged the very fabric of existence. The planets had moved into configurations that astrologers deemed ominous, their positions signaling upheaval and transformation. The dreaded conjunction of Saturn and Mars loomed over the year, a celestial harbinger of strife and struggle. These two celestial titans, when aligned, were believed to unleash forces that tested the mettle of humanity, demanding sacrifice and resilience. Yet in this dance of the heavens, the elder found a paradoxical comfort. For every challenging aspect, there was an opportunity for growth. For every descent into darkness, a chance for rebirth. It was the eternal cycle of destruction and creation, mirrored in the skies above and the lives of those below. As she continued her walk, she encountered others from the village, each engaged in their morning routines. There was the young mother coaxing her children into the day, her eyes reflecting both weariness and boundless love. There was the blacksmith, his hands stained with soot and sweat, yet carrying an unmistakable pride in his craft. These were the people who formed the heart of the village, each a thread in the communal fabric, their lives intertwined by shared experiences and mutual support. The elder exchanged greetings and words of encouragement, her presence a calming balm for those she encountered. Her wisdom, born of years and tempered by experience, was a beacon for the villagers, guiding them through the uncertainties of the present. As the sun ascended higher, the village came alive with activity. The sounds of labor filled the air, hammers striking anvils, the rhythmic thud of axes splitting wood, the gentle clucking of chickens in the coop. Life, in all its simplicity and complexity, unfolded in a dance as intricate as the stars above. The elder's journey took her to the edge of the village, where fields stretched wide and wild. She found herself drawn to the stream that meandered through the landscape, its waters a constant, soothing presence. Here she sat on a weathered stone, the coolness seeping through her garments and grounding her in the present moment. Her thoughts turned inward, seeking the wisdom of her ancestors and the guidance of the cosmos. She reflected on the stories passed down through generations, tales of resilience and hope, of communities weathering storms and emerging stronger. These stories were etched into her very being, a testament to the enduring spirit of humanity. The elder knew that while the stars held their secrets and challenges, they also held the promise of renewal. The planets in their eternal dance were both witnesses and participants in the unfolding saga of life. They reminded her that the universe, vast and unfathomable, was a living tapestry, and each soul a thread woven into its design. With these thoughts, the elder rose, her heart buoyed by a sense of connection to the earth and sky. She realized that, even in the face of adversity, there was a beauty in the struggle, a beauty born of the courage to face the unknown, the strength to endure, and the grace to find meaning in each moment. As she made her way back to the village, the elder carried with her a renewed sense of purpose. She was but one part of a greater whole, a participant in the grand symphony of existence. The challenges of the year, while daunting, were but a chapter in the larger story, a story written in the stars and echoed in the hearts of those who dared to dream. In the days that followed, the village continued to navigate the currents of change, guided by the wisdom of the elder and the shared resolve of its people. Together, they faced the trials of the year with courage and compassion, finding solace in the knowledge that they were never truly alone. And as the stars watched over them, their light a constant reminder of the infinite possibilities that lay ahead, the villagers learned to embrace the beauty and resilience that defined their journey. For in the dance of the cosmos and the tapestry of life, they discovered the strength to endure and the grace to transform, weaving their own stories into the eternal fabric of the universe. As the days stretched lazily into weeks, the village found itself wrapped in the embrace of an autumn that painted the world in hues of amber and gold. The air turned crisp, carrying with it the scent of earth and fallen leaves, a gentle reminder of the cyclical nature of life. The elder, who had become a beacon for her people, often wandered the paths that wove through the forest, her footsteps a meditation, her heart a vessel for the stories of the land. Each morning, she rose before the sun, her silhouette a quiet prayer against the indigo sky. As the first light caressed the horizon, she felt the universe whisper its secrets, a melody only the soul could hear. The villagers, inspired by her devotion, found themselves drawn to the rhythms of the natural world, their lives becoming a reflection of the harmony they observed. In the fields, the harvest continued, a ritual that connected them to their ancestors and to the earth itself. The wheat swayed in the breeze, a sea of golden whispers that spoke of sustenance and survival. Hands, calloused and sure, worked tirelessly, their labor a testament to the resilience that pulsed through their veins. Laughter often echoed through the fields, a bright note in the symphony of life, as stories were shared, binding the community closer with each telling. The elder often joined them, her presence a grounding force, her words weaving threads of wisdom through the fabric of their days. She spoke of the stars, of the constellations that danced across the night sky, each one a chapter in the celestial story. The villagers listened, their eyes wide with wonder as she traced the patterns with her hands, describing the myths and legends that lived among the stars. To them, she was a bridge between the earthly and the divine, a guide through the labyrinth of existence. As the evenings grew longer, the village gathered beneath the canopy of stars, a congregation of souls united by their shared journey. They lit fires that crackled and sang, their flames a beacon in the darkness. Around these fires, they shared meals and stories, their voices rising in song, a chorus of hope and perseverance. The elders' tales wove through the night, a tapestry of history and prophecy, a reminder that they were part of something far greater than themselves. The nights were alive with the sounds of the forest, a symphony of creatures that sang their own songs of survival. The villagers found solace in these sounds, a reminder that life continued in its many forms, each being a part of the grand design. The elder encouraged them to listen, to open their hearts to the wisdom of the natural world, to find strength in its constancy. In the quiet moments, when the world seemed to hold its breath, the villagers contemplated their place in the universe. They pondered the mysteries of fate and free will, of destiny and choice, their thoughts a dance of light and shadow. The elder guided them through these reflections, her voice a gentle caress, her words a balm for weary hearts. She reminded them that while the stars might chart a course, it was they who held the rudder, steering their lives through the storm and calm alike. In her own moments of solitude, the elder sought the wisdom of the cosmos, her spirit reaching out to the vastness of the night sky. She felt the pulse of the universe, a heartbeat that resonated with her own, a reminder of the interconnectedness of all things. It was in these moments that she found peace, a tranquility that she carried back to her people, a light to guide them through the darkness. The village thrived under her guidance, each member finding their place within the intricate weave of community. They learned to support one another, to share their burdens and joys, their lives interwoven like the strands of a tapestry. As the year unfolded, they discovered a strength they had not known they possessed, a resilience born of unity and love. The stars, ever watchful, continued their eternal dance across the sky, a reminder of the infinite possibilities that lay before them. The villagers, inspired by their celestial guardians, embraced their journey with renewed vigor, each day a new chapter in the story of their lives. They learned to see the beauty in the challenges they faced, to find grace in the moments of struggle and triumph. As the year drew to a close, the elder gathered her people beneath the night sky, a gathering of souls united by their shared journey. They looked to the heavens, their eyes filled with wonder and gratitude, their hearts open to the mysteries of the universe. The elder spoke of the cycles of life, of endings and beginnings, her words a gentle reminder that each ending was but a new beginning, a chance to write a new chapter in the story of their lives. And so, with the stars as their guide and the earth as their foundation, the village moved forward, their hearts united, their spirits unbroken. They carried with them the lessons of the year, a tapestry of wisdom and experience that would guide them through the seasons of their lives. For in the dance of the cosmos and the tapestry of life, they had discovered the strength to endure and the grace to transform, weaving their own stories into the eternal fabric of the universe. With each passing day, the elder's presence became a living embodiment of the resilience and hope that pulsed through the village. Her wisdom, like a river, flowed through the community, nourishing and sustaining all who drank from its depths. As the village continued its journey through the seasons, the elders' teachings became a part of their collective consciousness, a guiding star that illuminated the path ahead. The villagers found themselves increasingly attuned to the rhythms of the natural world, their lives a reflection of the harmony that surrounded them. They learned to listen to the whispers of the wind, to feel the heartbeat of the earth beneath their feet, to see the beauty in the smallest details of creation. In doing so, they discovered a profound connection to the world around them, a bond that transcended the boundaries of time and space. In the quiet moments of dawn and dusk, they gathered to give thanks for the gifts they had received, their prayers a melody that rose to the heavens. They expressed gratitude for the harvest, for the warmth of the sun and the embrace of the moon, for the love and support of their community. In these moments, they felt the presence of the elder, her spirit a gentle reminder of the interconnectedness of all things. As the year unfolded, the challenges they faced became opportunities for growth and transformation, each obstacle a stepping stone on the path to enlightenment. The villagers learned to embrace the unknown, to trust in the wisdom of the universe, to find strength in the face of adversity. They discovered that within each of them lay a wellspring of courage and resilience, a source of power that could see them through even the darkest of times. The elder, ever watchful, continued to guide them with her gentle wisdom, her words a balm for weary hearts. She reminded them that they were never truly alone, that they were part of a greater whole, a participant in the grand symphony of existence. Her teachings became a beacon of hope and inspiration, a reminder that they had the power to shape their own destinies, to write their own stories in the stars. As the seasons turned and the village moved forward, the legacy of the elder lived on in the hearts of her people. Her teachings had become a part of their very being, a guiding light that would continue to illuminate their path for generations to come. They carried with them the lessons of the year, a tapestry of wisdom and experience that would guide them through the seasons of their lives. In the dance of the cosmos and the tapestry of life, they had discovered the strength to endure and the grace to transform, weaving their own stories into the eternal fabric of the universe. And so, with hearts full of hope and spirits unbroken, they stepped boldly into the future, ready to embrace whatever the stars might have in store for them. As the stars spun their glittering webs across the velvet backdrop of the night sky, the village nestled beneath them continued to evolve, its people forever changed by the trials and triumphs of the year 1347. The celestial patterns, once as cryptic as the ancient runes carved into stone, now seemed a bit more familiar, a bit more like the pages of a well-loved book, read by the flickering light of a hearth. The elder's teachings had become a living, breathing part of the village. Her wisdom was woven into the fabric of their daily lives, much like the intricate patterns of the tapestries that warmed their homes. They spoke of her tales with reverence, her stories becoming the gentle lullabies that eased them into slumber, and the invigorating chants that spurred them into action at the break of dawn. In the village square, where once uncertainty had cast long shadows, there was now a palpable sense of unity. The market was vibrant, a tapestry of colors and sounds, where laughter mingled with the songs of merchants calling out their wares. The people moved with a newfound grace, their actions as synchronized as the movements of the constellations above. Each transaction, each friendly nod, was a dance of its own, a testament to the harmony they had found within themselves and with each other. The fields, once barren under the weight of despair, had burst forth with life. The crops swayed in the gentle breeze, a sea of green and gold that whispered secrets to the sky. The farmers worked the land with reverence, their hands skilled and sure, knowing that each seed they planted was a promise, a wish cast upon the soil. The earth, in turn, responded with generosity, yielding fruits and grains that nourish both body and spirit. Children, those wide-eyed dreamers of the future, played under the watchful gaze of the stars, their laughter like the tinkling of distant bells. They chased each other through the meadows, their footsteps light and carefree, as if they had learned to tread the path between the worlds of the seen and unseen. They would often pause, heads tilted back, to trace the outlines of the constellations with small, eager fingers, believing wholeheartedly in the magic that connected them to the heavens. The village elders, custodians of memory and tradition, gathered around the fire each evening, their faces carved with the wisdom of years. They shared stories of resilience and hope, of love and loss, their voices a soothing balm to the souls of those who listened. The fire crackled and popped, its warmth a gentle embrace that held them all together, a reminder of the elder who had guided them through the darkest nights. And so the village thrived, a testament to the resilience of the human spirit, to the strength found in community and the wisdom gleaned from the stars. The year 1347, with all its challenges and hardships, had become a chapter in their shared history, a story of transformation and rebirth. It was a year that had tested them, shaped them, and ultimately united them in a way that was as enduring as the stars themselves. Yet the stars whispered of more to come, of new adventures and challenges waiting just beyond the horizon. The villagers, with hearts fortified by the lessons of the past, stood ready to face whatever lay ahead. They had learned to read the signs, to listen to the winds, to feel the pulse of the earth beneath their feet. They knew that the universe spoke in a language of its own, a language they were slowly beginning to understand. As they looked to the future, they did so with hope, with courage, and with an unshakable belief in the power of their own stories. For they had become the weavers of their own destinies, the architects of their own fates. and in the dance of the cosmos and the tapestry of life, they had found their place, their purpose, their home. The village, cradled in the embrace of the hills, continued its journey, a small but vital part of the grand symphony of existence. And though the stars shone as brightly as ever, their light now carried a new meaning, a reminder of the enduring connection between earth and sky, between the past and the future, between the human heart and the infinite universe. In this way, the legacy of the elder lived on, a guiding star for all who sought it, a beacon of hope in a world that was ever changing. And so with each new dawn, the villagers rose with gratitude, with determination, and with a profound understanding that they were indeed part of something much larger, something eternal and beautiful and wondrous beyond measure. And thus they continued, step by step, breath by breath, moment by moment, their lives an unfolding story, a journey of discovery and wonder, forever intertwined with the stars above and the earth below. In that timeless village nestled amongst the rolling hills, life meandered like a gentle stream, carrying with it the echoes of past wisdom and the silent whispers of what was yet to come. The air was imbued with the scent of earth and foliage, mingling with the distant aroma of wood smoke curling up from the hearths of simple homes. Each dawn was met with a symphony of bird calls, each note a testimony to the persistence of life amidst the ever-turning wheel of the cosmos. The villagers, in their daily rituals, moved with a grace that belied the simplicity of their lives. Their hands, worn yet skillful, crafted the bread they broke together and tilled the soil that yielded their sustenance. Each action was a prayer, a silent homage to the forces that governed their days and nights. The past year had been one of trials, echoed in the lines of their faces, yet beneath those lines lay a determination as steadfast as the stones that form the foundations of their homes. The village elder, now a memory woven into the fabric of their lives, had left a legacy not just of knowledge but of perspective. His teachings had been like seeds scattered upon fertile ground, taking root in the hearts of those who had listened. His voice, though now silent, still resonated in the cadence of their conversations, in the choices they made, and in the resilience with which they faced the unknown. The sky, a vast expanse of azure by day and a canvas of stars by night, was both a map and a mystery. To the villagers, it was a reminder of their place in the universe, a connection to the divine. The constellations, each with their own stories and secrets, watched over them, their light a reminder of both the constancy and the change inherent in all things. The stars were guides, the celestial companions in their earthly journey, offering a sense of continuity amidst the flux of life. In the evenings, as the sun dipped below the horizon, painting the sky with hues of gold and crimson, the villagers would gather. Around the hearths, they shared stories that had been passed down through generations, tales of heroism and folly, of love and loss, and of the stars themselves. These stories were their heritage, a tapestry of human experience woven with threads of humor and heartache, courage and caution. Yet the year 1347 was not kind, and the skies bore witness to more than just the turning of the seasons. The stars, those ancient sentinels, seemed to flicker with a foreboding light, as if mirroring the turmoil that had begun to seep into the world below. Astrologers spoke of dire alignments, of celestial bodies in positions that foretold upheaval and strife. The heavens, once a source of comfort and guidance, now carried warnings etched in their eternal dance. The village, though seemingly isolated, was not immune to the ripples of change that spread through the land. Trade routes, once bustling with merchants and travelers, grew quiet. The air was filled with rumors of a sickness, a pestilence that moved unseen but left devastation in its wake. It carried with it a fear that clung to the shadows, a specter of uncertainty that crept into conversations and settled in the corners of anxious hearts. Yet, despite the encroaching darkness, life in the village continued. The rhythm of the seasons dictated their days, the cycles of planting and harvest, a testament to the resilience of the human spirit. The villagers, bound by shared history and collective hope, faced the challenges with a stoic grace. They turned to the stars, seeking solace and strength in the familiar patterns that had guided their ancestors. Under the vast canopy of night, they found a sense of peace. The stars, though distant and untouchable, offered a promise of continuity, a reminder that the universe was vast and eternal, far beyond the transient troubles of human existence. This cosmic perspective, a gift from the elder who had taught them to read the skies, offered solace. It was a reminder that they were part of an unending cycle, a dance of creation and dissolution that transcended the boundaries of time. And so, with each passing day, they continued their journey. The village, a microcosm of the world beyond, thrived in its own way. The children, with their laughter and play, were the promise of a future yet unwritten. The elders, with their wisdom and stories, were the custodians of memory. Together, they forged a path through the uncertainty, guided by the stars and fortified by the bonds of community. The year 1347, with its challenges and changes, was a testament to the resilience of the human spirit. It was a reminder that even in the darkest times, there is light to be found, if one knows where to look. The villagers knew this, for they had lived it, and with each rising sun, they embraced the gift of life, with all its beauty and complexity. Thus, the tale of the village continued to unfold, a story without end, a testament to the enduring connection between earth and sky, between past and future, between the human heart and the infinite universe. As they looked to the stars, they saw not just the portents of astrology, but the possibilities of hope, and in that hope, they found their strength. And so life carried on, as it always does, a journey of discovery and wonder, forever intertwined with the stars above and the earth below. The village, cradled in the embrace of the hills, was a testament to the power of community, the wisdom of the past, and the promise of the future. Through the trials and triumphs, they remained part of something much larger, something eternal and beautiful and wondrous beyond measure. And as the seasons danced their eternal waltz, the village thrived, nestled in the gentle folds of time and space. The laughter of children echoed through the meadows, a melody that wove seamlessly with the rustling leaves and the whispering winds. Elders gathered beneath the ancient oak, sharing stories that bridged generations, stories that spoke of love and loss, of dreams fulfilled and promises kept. In the fields, the golden waves of wheat swayed in harmony with the rhythm of the earth, a reminder of the cycle of life that nourished not only their bodies, but their spirits as well. The river, a silver thread through the tapestry of their existence, sang its eternal song, a lullaby of constancy and change. Under the vast canopy of the night sky, the villagers often gathered, their faces illuminated by the glow of the moon. They spoke of their hopes and fears, their joys and sorrows, and as they did, they understood that they were part of something greater, a cosmic dance that connected them to all that had been and all that would ever be. In this sacred space, where earth kissed sky, they found solace and strength. They learned that the true magic lay not in the grand gestures, but in the simple moments of connection and understanding. And as they turned their gaze toward the horizon, they realized that the light they sought was not just in the stars, but within themselves. Thus, the village continued to thrive, a beacon of resilience and hope. And as the first light of dawn broke over the hills, painting the world in hues of gold and rose, the villagers greeted the new day with hearts wide open, ready to embrace the endless possibilities that lay before them. For in every ending, there is a beginning, and in every story, there is a truth that transcends time, that we are all part of a beautiful, intricate tapestry, woven together by the threads of love, hope, and the enduring spirit of humanity. And so the tale goes on, a never-ending song, echoing through the ages. The villagers gathered at the heart of their beloved community, where the old oak tree stood as a silent witness to generations of dreams and whispers. Its branches, heavy with memories, swayed gently in the morning breeze, casting dappled shadows that danced on the ground. As they shared stories and laughter, the air was filled with a sense of belonging that transcended the boundaries of time and space. The young ones listened with wide-eyed wonder, while the elders recounted the tales of their ancestors, ensuring that the legacy of wisdom and courage would live on in each new heart. The bonds they forged were not of necessity, but of choice, a testament to the enduring power of unity and love. They understood that while the world around them changed with the seasons, the essence of their spirit remained constant, rooted deeply in the soil of their shared history. And so, As the sun climbed higher in the sky, casting its warm embrace upon the land, the villagers dispersed, each carrying with them a piece of the morning's magic. They went forth to tend to their fields, their crafts, and their dreams, ever mindful of the truth that had been etched into their souls. For they knew that the journey was far from over, that new stories awaited to be written, and that the canvas of life stretched infinitely before them, inviting their brushstrokes of imagination and hope. And thus the story continued, a living testament to the resilience of the human spirit and the eternal cycle of life, love, and renewal. It whispered through the leaves, echoed in the laughter of children, and shimmered in the twilight, a gentle reminder that the magic of the world resided not in distant stars, but within the hearts of those who dared to dream. As the evening descended, painting the sky in hues of amber and indigo, the villagers gathered once more on the grassy knoll overlooking their beloved valley. The day's labors had been fruitful, and now, with weary but contented hearts, they sought solace in the company of one another, beneath the vast expanse of the night sky. The elders, with voices softened by the years, spoke of times long past, weaving tales of courage and kinship that danced in the cool night air. The younger ones listened with rapt attention, eyes wide with wonder, as the flames of the communal fire crackled softly, casting flickering shadows that seemed to nod in agreement. Among them, a young girl, whose heart brimmed with unbridled curiosity, gazed upwards, her eyes tracing the constellations that adorned the heavens. She imagined them as ancient storytellers, their celestial dance a narrative written in light, each star a word, each constellation a verse. In that moment, a gentle breeze swept through the gathering, rustling the leaves and carrying with it the fragrant promise of tomorrow. The girl closed her eyes, feeling the embrace of the wind, and understood that she too was a part of this endless story, a single note in a timeless melody. And so, as the village lay wrapped in the tender arms of night, dreams took flight, soaring beyond the edge of the horizon, where dawn awaited with open arms. The tale of the village and its people flowed onward, a river of memory and possibility, whispering to the world that even amidst the ordinary, there was magic to be found. For in the tapestry of life, woven with threads of laughter and tears, triumph and loss, each moment was a gift, a chance to love, to learn, and to leave behind a legacy of light. And thus the villagers dreamed on, their hearts aglow with the knowledge that the story was theirs to shape, as long as they dared to dream. In the embrace of night, the village found its rhythm, a silent symphony played by crickets and the soft sigh of the trees. The moon, a gentle guardian, watched over the slumbering homes, casting silver shadows that danced like whispers upon the cobblestone streets. As the stars wove their luminous tale across the sky, the girl drifted into sleep, her dreams a continuation of the story that lived within her heart. She saw fields of golden wheat swaying under the sun, rivers that sang as they meandered through the valleys, and faces of loved ones etched with joy and wisdom. In this realm of dreams, she understood that every soul carried a spark of the eternal, a fragment of the universe's grand design. And in that understanding, she found peace, a knowing that her journey, like that of her ancestors and those yet to come, was a thread in the vast tapestry of existence. Morning would come, as it always did, painting the world anew with its palette of possibilities. The girl would awaken to the gentle chorus of birdsong, ready to weave another day into her life's rich narrative. With each dawn, she would rise to meet the sun, a testament to the enduring spirit of her village and the unending story of humanity. And so the night gave way to dawn, the sky blushing with the promise of a new beginning. The village stirred, the first light touching the earth with gentle fingers, revealing a world brimming with hope and potential. In this sacred cycle of night and day, the villagers found their place, forever part of a story that echoed through time, each chapter a testament to the beauty of dreams and the courage to live them. And as the sun climbed higher, the village awoke to another day, ready to embrace the wonder of life once more. The sun rose higher, casting a warm golden glow over the village, a gentle reminder of the connection between past and present, earth and sky. The girl, now fully awake, stood at the edge of the fields, her heart swelling with gratitude and determination. She understood that she was a guardian of her ancestors' dreams, a bearer of the hopes of generations yet to come. As she moved through the village, the familiar sights and sounds wrapped around her like a comforting embrace. The laughter of children playing in the distance, the rhythmic clatter of weaving looms, and the scent of freshly baked bread wafting through the air. All these were threads in the fabric of her being. Her steps carried her to the great oak at the village's heart, its ancient branches whispering secrets of time and memory. She sat beneath its shade, feeling the pulse of life beneath her fingertips as she touched the roots, deep and strong. Here she found solace and inspiration, a reminder that growth required both sun and shadow. With a deep breath, she closed her eyes and envisioned the future, a vibrant mosaic of unity and resilience, where each individual's story contributed to the whole. In her mind, she saw a world where the values of her village spread like seeds carried by the wind, taking root in distant lands. Opening her eyes to the brilliance of the day, she rose with renewed purpose. The girl knew that every choice she made, every action she took, was a note in the symphony of life, resonating beyond the horizon of her days. She was both a keeper and a creator of stories, her life a testament to the power of dreams and the courage to pursue them. And so, with the spirit of those who came before her and those who would follow, she stepped into the day, ready to add her chapter to the ever-unfolding tale of humanity. In that moment, she understood that she was not alone, but part of a larger narrative where each soul was a vital thread, weaving together the past, present, and future into a tapestry of infinite beauty.